Part 10. When the world came knocking, the invitation from abroad. The moment the email arrived, it carried a strange kind of gravity. Subject line, from Berlin with heat. Sender, Sarai Keller, Sensual Liberation Summit, Europe. Nadia opened it first. Her brow arched as her lips curled into that familiar smirk, equal parts intrigue and delight. Looks like the world's been watching, love. And so it had. The Sensual Liberation Summit wasn't some overlit expo of latex and lubricant. It was artistry. Scholarship. A yearly gathering of educators, therapists, artists, and edgewalkers from all over the globe. People unafraid to speak the language of skin and soul in the same sentence. Sarai, a German-Jewish erotic anthropologist, had seen our videos. She called them intimate philosophy delivered with wild grace. She wanted us, not to perform, but to speak, to share the heartbeat of our journey, and we accepted. Berlin, city of shadows and uncensored light. We arrived in the throbbing pulse of summer. The streets buzzed with electric rebellion. Lovers kissed with open hunger in parks. Queer cafes overflowed with thinkers in mesh shirts and Doc Martens. Everything felt alive. We were housed in a minimalist apartment above a bookstore called Fleisch und Licht. Flesh and light, because of course it was. Sarai met us there. She was striking. Silver hair in a buzz cut, a voice like velvet wrapped around a blade. "I want you to tell your story," she said. "Not just the sex, but the alchemy, how you turned shame into ceremony." The summit. We stood on a small stage before an audience of 200, but it felt like a temple, not a crowd. I spoke first, about our beginning, the nervous trembling of that first shared night, the unexpected sacredness of exploring desire together, the confusion, the breakthroughs, the thrill of saying yes to ourselves and each other. Nadia followed, and oh, she roared. She spoke of race and fetishization, yes, but also of healing, of the way Black men she'd been with held her, not just lusted for her, of reclaiming every moan that once felt dirty and making it divine. When she described our encounter with Deshawn as a sermon disguised as a threesome, the room exhaled as one. That night, we didn't go out. We stayed in, sprawled across crisp white sheets, watching the Berlin sky bleed into starlight. "I think we've started something," I said. Nadia nodded, eyes tracing the ceiling as if mapping constellations. "Not just started," she whispered. "We've become it." The offers flooded in. Amsterdam wanted us to guest at their Body Poets Circle. Toronto's Museum of the Erotic Mind offered a curated exhibition based on our channel's evolution. Even Seoul invited us to speak about erotic cross-cultural dialogues in post-colonial intimacy. We weren't influencers anymore. We were ambassadors of permission. But perhaps the most moving moment came from a handwritten letter slipped under our door in Berlin. "Your story made me weep. I am a 62-year-old widow who has never known desire without shame. But today, because of you, I touched myself and didn't apologize for it. Thank you for making room for people like me." It reminded us, this wasn't about fame, or even pleasure. It was about freedom. And so, with passports stamped and hearts stretched wide, we returned home not as we left, but as messengers. Shall I continue to part 11, the night of the mirror, where you finally face yourselves fully? A night of reflection, revelation, and the most unexpected twist yet.